my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So for today's movie, I will be reviewing The Machine, directed by Peter Atencio and starring Mark Hamill and Bert Kreischer. Anyway, this film tells the story of Bert Kreischer, who is played by Bert Kreischer himself. Anyway, Bert Kreischer in the world that this film establishes is a comedian, much like in the real world, who is known for his shirtless stand-up comedy. However, unlike in this world, in the movie, after following an epic parenting fail, he decides to leave the world of stand-up comedy and work on improving himself as a human being and as a parent to his teenage daughters. And he's going to get an, let's just say, interesting opportunity to improve himself and when he is tasked with finding a pocket watch of a Russian mobster that he stole from over 20 years ago when he was a transfer student in Moscow. And apparently this is not as crazy as you would think. Apparently he did actually, go to Moscow and get into and stupid stuff with the mafia in real life. Anyway, so what follows then is the fictionalized Bert going along with his father Albert, played by God's great gift to the universe itself, Mark freaking Hamill, baby. And he must also contend, with repairing the relationship with his loving but hypercritical father. So every performance is solid. The performers have great chemistry with each other. Mark Hamill is great as an Eagle Scout dad who cares about his kids yet is hypercritical. He doesn't like violence, but he's willing to defend his family through violent means. He does go through a bit of an arc there. Bert Kreischer does a great job at playing a fictionalized version of himself as a narcissistic dad who needs to learn how to balance out the comedic, showmanship persona of himself with the more caring and, dare I say, rational portion of himself. And Eva Bobek, she's kind of the dark horse of this film. She gets such hilariously dark material to work with as a Russian mobster with a penchant for violence and American television, and she does a great job. And there's one particular scene where she makes a reference to a TV show, and it is just so dark and so funny. You will laugh so hard at this particular moment when it happens. It is so good. Every actor, and like I said, and Bobek, she's not the only one with great material with. Bert and Mark Hamill, they get great material to work with as well. And Mark Hamill, at one point, my favorite line is one point, "You gave me such wonderful drugs." It's so funny just seeing Mark Hamill play a character that gets high. Just seeing Mark Hamill, pretend to be high is one of the highlights of this movie in general. So the screenplay is solid, and it gives every actor hilarious lines to work with. It does sort of overplay some gags into submission. You will know Bert is fat because every character says Bert is fat at least 150 times throughout the film. But thankfully, gags like these are overshadowed by the countless ones that do work. Plus, the screenplay also kind of has a bit of a, how shall I say this, man-child fantasy where, it turns out it's like, oh, me being irresponsible actually kind of turned out to be responsible. I mean, again, in the context of the film, it works, but, it kind of, I don't know, feels like a bit of an overplayed trope within the world of cinema. But again, it's a small critique. Overall, the fictionalized Bert's character arc is well handled, and the themes of fatherhood and balance are well done. Plus, the flashback sequences are surprisingly well handled. The film did a great job of picking an actor who could effectively replicate the fictionalized persona Bert has, and it's really good. I never felt like I was watching someone pretend to be Bert. I felt like they had traveled back in time to get a younger version of Bert, and I feel like that effect was very well achieved by the fluid cinematography. Like, there's no hard cut between present and past timelines. It's just a fluid motion from the camera